Here, I'll set it up. Greg is a reporter. Ryan, Fitz, Nate, they all work on the facts they know and they can say here on the show. And so I want to create a space where we can just talk. And like when I play this, there are absolutely no consequences to the conversation. These are not facts. These are opinions based on the vibes we're getting. This is called Good Vibes, Bad Vibes. Are you getting good vibes or are you getting bad vibes from a particular conversation, topic, opinion, thing that's happening? Again, play that. Zero consequences for your actions here, Greg. So just some conversations we've had. Good vibes or bad vibes? Let's start with James Franklin, because in the chat, somebody asked earlier about his vibes in spring football. Let me see. JC Cunningham says, in general, Franklin sounds more relaxed, constructive this spring compared to recent ones. Agree or disagree? I'll ask you differently. Good vibes or bad vibes from James Franklin?
I keep all the vibe I can think of at the moment is all the vibrating my phone and watch keep doing during this show. And every time I look down, there's no new transfer portal news for Penn State. Yes, I guess that'll be later. Good vibes for James Franklin this spring. So he continues to not only be willing to discuss big picture things that are affecting the sport of college football, like he talked yesterday about his preference for one transfer portal window and some of the things that impact that, to the small, minute things like getting into some specific players, like in the most recent examples, in Alex Birchmeier or whoever. I can't honestly remember who else he was asked about last night. That's which is terrible because it was only
Javen Williams, I think.
Williams, yeah.
No, Drew Shelton.
Recently,
Drew Shelton.
Yeah, Drew Shelton last night. Javen Williams recently. So good vibes. I think he feels good about where things are. I think we all have to realize that this spring, Penn State is without some guys. You mentioned Nittany Sutton earlier in the show. We know that Tony Rojas is working his way back. Things like that they're going to have to work guys through the summer to get them ready for preseason camp. But I think it's good. I don't know if this kind of counts, but I think James Franklin, and I get good vibes about him in part because you get good vibes when you're out at practice. When you're out there and watching the different drills, things like that. Very intentional. Again, what would you expect, right? Like, it's spring practice, of course, but I just get a sense that these guys know what they're expected to do this year, and they know what they have to do to earn that. And it started in winter workouts, but it continues now. And I get the sense, T-Frank, that these guys are aware of that, and James Franklin and his coaches have instilled that in them, which is why you're seeing it on the practice field. So good.
Do you have any? I've got a couple here, but do you have any that you want to throw out here into the vibe ecosphere?
Not at the moment. Let's run through yours, and I'll think about it. Yes.
Okay, so let's go to defensive tackle. Good vibes or bad vibes about the Penn State defensive tackle situation?
Yeah, I'll think of some to throw volley back and forth here. And I'll let you answer this one too. Questionable to it's hard to say. I don't want to get too far in the weeds here, only because of the fact that we've had so many indoor practices, and that group works at the furthest corner of the field. So I feel like I have a better feel for how the receivers, the running backs, the quarterbacks, even some of the safeties and stuff cornerbacks have been going through preseason practices. The three hardest groups to get a read on when we're inside are the tight ends, the offensive line, and the defensive line. They're on the opposite side of the field, tucked away in a corner. And so I wish I had some of that to lean on. But
Greg,
you look at,
remember,
there's no
consequences.
There's no
just
consequences
vibes,
until there
man.
are. Yeah,
just
vibes.
Don't be Nate. Play the game.
Can't be neutral. Z-Man says. I look. It's
here,
if you have one of those.
I'll save you for you. I'm going bad vibes, and also I wanted to play the bad vibes so everyone knows what the options look like.
Yeah, so if there was a meter here, a red, yellow, green meter, mine would be teetering a little bit towards the red, and I'd be closer to the middle than the red. But
sure,
you look at that, you just wonder about the numbers there. You wonder about if the guys they lost maybe did not get enough credit for what they did, and you wonder about. I think you look at this roster. It's a pretty good number. I have it up here, so let me just talk my way through this if I can find it. You talk about the freshmen and the young guys at receiver that need to take a next step. Well, defensive tackle is certainly one of them. You have Ty Blanding, a redshirt sophomore, Xavier Gilliam, a redshirt freshman. Liam Andrews and DeAndre Cook, two redshirt freshmen. Randy Adarica's a freshman. You bring in Owen Wafel, who's a freshman, redshirt freshman rather. You just don't know a lot about these guys after Zane Durant. And I mean, some more than I think more than enough to feel good about Alonzo Ford. But then after that, then what?
But that's my point here. That's exactly my point. If I'm putting it in kind of the bad vibes, because the last time Penn State was thin and veterans at defensive tackle, where it's like you've got to get something out of X, because you're then into the weeds of, hey, these are young guys we like, but we don't know anything about them, who turned into Javon Ellies and guys later in their career, Keziah Izzard later in their year. But in 2021, they had PJ Mustipher and Derek Tangelo. And then it was
Fitz's guy.
To
Derek
a bunch
Tangelo,
of young guys who were unproven and were green. And so that's why I'd say, like, I'm just getting bad vibes from the conversation when we're talking about young guys that are on a team that has national championship aspirations. I think Xavier Gilliam saves this conversation from being 2021. But if we're saying just generally, I'm getting a little bit of the bad vibes from the fact that we're talking about freshmen and we're talking about guys that have never played before that are going to get into the 2 deep and are going to be 3 and 4 on that 2 deep, because one of the guys you're counting on is Alonzo Ford, who's injured. So I hate being the bad vibes police, but I don't have great vibes about that. Okay, so let's go back to, we've had the conversation about what James Franklin had to say about all the things that we know of the facts. What are your vibes around the Penn State portal situation?
So are we talking like overall, incoming, outgoing, the whole 9 yards?
Yes, because I didn't think about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with good. And I think if we were using different levels of good, fine would be a more accurate description. But I'm starting to get just a sense that maybe this portal window won't be as crazy as, like, I think going into it, you think about the potential roster limits. You think about the way some of the positions stack up in terms of the depth chart, and older guys maybe not being in the ones or as high, the twos even to some extent. And so I think there was a natural feeling as this day grew closer, this opening day of the spring transfer portal window. I think that there was this maybe belief that there was going to be a massive rush to go into the portal, both Penn State guys and guys across the country. And I'm just not seeing it right now. I mean, like I said, my phone and my watch has been buzzing almost the entire hour here. And some of it's been new entries to the transfer portal, but a lot of it's just been buzz about guys who are already in. And so I think Penn State will get through this okay from a loss perspective. What I can't tell you is, number one, will there be somebody or somebody's out there Penn State both wants and can afford? We'll have to just wait and see what's out there. I know that every time a guy goes in, it's you draw a straight line and say, well, he makes sense. I know the defensive lineman from North Carolina is a popular one in that regard right now.
Yep.
But the thing I can tell you is if that NCAA versus House settlement is done at some time over the next, like, let's just say 8 days, 7 days, 6, whatever. How does that change things? If they come out and say 100% you have to be at 105, I feel like that changes the conversation pretty dramatically. Whereas right now, at least in my mind, if you're one of those guys who think you might be on the cusp, you can continue to go through spring practice, continue to fight for your position, and then maybe you have a decision to make at the end of next week, even if it's just throwing your name in for the safety factor of saying, okay, I played by the rules, I'm good, and if I need to go, I have the opportunity to. So right now, good. Like I said, fine would probably be a better description, but I think it'll all be okay.
Do you have any for me? Do you want to throw any of these out here? Good vibe, bad vibes?
Yeah, I would say, because you've written about this at BlueWhiteIllustrated.com, you've asked about it now. You heard it talked about it a little bit last night. Just your feel for whether or not this offense, good vibe or bad vibe about this offense being okay without Tyler Warren and taking a different track to success in year 2 of Andy Kotelnicki, but year 1 of the post Tyler Warren era.
Yeah. No, I've got good vibes. I got good vibes about this. And here's why. I think that there's an opportunity to build the offense around Drew Aller and not around Tyler Warren. And I know that sounds silly, but when you're designing screen passes and kind of one read plays to get him the football 8 times a game or 5 times a game, whatever it was, there was just so many plays where it was get the ball to Tyler Warren, and then if not, like maybe check it down or there's some sort of like dump off or throw the ball away. If you can design the offense for Drew Aller to operate it with play action and the run game and throw to a wide delta of receivers where James Franklin has talked about the start of spring ball, we need to make sure we have enough of those guys to spread around the field. That creates an opportunity where the offense can be better from a passing perspective, even without an apex predator like Tyler Warren out there. And so I got good vibes from what I've seen in practice that I think they're going to be able to accomplish that. Some of the tweaks they've made and talking about building on things you're good at is what last week Danny O'Brien was talking about. So I think good, solid, good vibes, not great vibes. If there was a number one receiver that was like breaking out and we all saw like one-handed catches and stuff, and like there was more confirmation of we got a stud at that position, yeah, great vibes. Good vibes for sure. Like I got good vibes about the offense. I don't know if I'm right, but I got good vibes.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you. I think it would be just taking the only way you could have bad vibes would be to just take a complete pessimistic this season is not going to go as well as everyone thinks approach. Otherwise,
yeah.
If you look at it in any rational way, I think you would have to feel good about the situation for sure.